The storm had passed, but its mark remained. The sky was quiet now, almost deceptively calm, as if nothing had happened at all, but the silence only made the damage more visible. Homes were broken, roofs torn open, windows shattered, walls cracked by forces no one could control. Streets lay empty, littered with debris and memories of a life that had been interrupted without warning. The air still carried the weight of what had been lost. And for one family, everything they had built over years of sacrifice felt like it was gone in an instant. The place that once held laughter, warmth, and safety now stood fragile and unfamiliar. In the aftermath, they weren't just facing destruction, they were facing uncertainty, grief, and the painful question of how to begin again. They could have given up. They could have let despair take root, allowing the weight of loss to crush what little strength remained. Every reason to stop was right in front of them: exhaustion, fear, and the overwhelming sense that the fight was already lost. But in the quiet, something else began to grow. In the stillness after the chaos, a small but unbreakable spark of determination flickered to life. It wasn't loud or dramatic, it was steady. A resolve formed in whispered promises, in clenched fists, in the simple decision to stand one more time. That spark didn't erase the pain, but it gave them something just as powerful: the will to move forward, to rebuild, and to believe that this was not the end of their story. Step by step, brick by brick, they rebuilt not just their home, but their spirit. Every small action became an act of defiance against what had been taken from them. With each wall raised and each room restored, strength returned slowly, deliberately. And they weren't alone. Neighbors, friends, strangers, they came together, answering the unspoken call to help. Hands reached out where words failed. Meals were shared, tools were passed along, and hope was carried from one person to the next. In that shared effort, something powerful emerged. A community bound not by circumstance, but by compassion. What began as rebuilding soon became renewal, a reminder that even after the worst storms, people can become each other's shelter. Through the storm, they discovered what truly mattered. When the wind had howled and the rain had taken more than it gave, what remained forced them to look beyond what was lost. The things they once believed defined safety and success: walls, roofs, possessions lay scattered and broken, suddenly stripped of their importance. Those things had value, yes, but they were never the heart of what made a home. What endured was something deeper and harder to name: love that held firm when fear threatened to pull them apart. Unity born not from comfort, but from shared struggle. And a strength they didn't know they possessed, one that surfaced only because they had no choice but to lean on one another. In the quiet moments between exhaustion and hope, they realized that hardship had revealed their true foundation: not concrete or wood, but connection; not ownership, but presence. And as they stood together in the aftermath, they understood something profound. Storms can take many things, but they cannot take the bonds formed when people face the darkness hand in hand. The storm had taken much. It had taken comfort, certainty, and the ease of a life once taken for granted. It left behind scars that would not fade quickly, on buildings, on streets, and in the hearts of those who lived there. But it had also given them something greater. As the days passed and the images began to change, so did the neighborhood. Where there was once wreckage, there was now movement. Where silence once lingered, there were voices, footsteps, and the sound of rebuilding. Resilience emerged in every repaired wall and cleared street. Community revealed itself in shared labor, in smiles exchanged between strangers who no longer felt like strangers at all. Each frame told a story of progress, of healing, of care, of a place slowly finding its strength again. And with every improvement came understanding. Even the darkest moments can carry the seeds of renewal. Even devastation can open the door to new beginnings, stronger, wiser, and built together. Hardship has a way of revealing what lies beneath the surface. When everything familiar is stripped away, When comfort disappears and certainty is lost, a quiet inner strength begins to emerge, one that cannot be taught, only discovered. It rises in moments of exhaustion, in the decision to keep going, and in the courage to believe that healing is still possible. And in those moments, the power of community becomes undeniable. Together, people can lift what feels impossible to carry alone. Together, they can rebuild not only damaged homes and broken streets, but also shattered spirits and wounded lives. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, becomes a brick in something stronger than before. This is the truth the storm revealed. Resilience is not found in standing alone, but in standing together. From loss comes connection, from devastation comes renewal. And from the darkest chapters emerge new beginnings shaped by unity, strengthened by compassion, and carried forward by hope. If this story meant something to you, don't let it end here. Subscribe, because every week, we share stories that remind you who you're becoming. And if you know someone who needs this message, send it to them.